talking, you'll all be pleased to know my voice is rapidly going. So, what I'd like to do is hand you over to Sir Sidney, first of all, to make the presentation for the projection team of the year.
Right.
So, Sir Sidney.
Now, where is... I feel more comfortable when I'm holding.
Quiet.
The hard way. You can tell that you're among projectionists, can't you? Yes. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my annual privilege, it seems, to make this most important presentation. And having been a prodigy myself, what a pleasure to be paying tribute to the crew of the year. So it is now my pleasure. Have we got both recipients here now?
I think so, they're over here.
Coming through.
Go on there.
Well done.
Very good. So it just remains for me to have the pleasure of presenting you with this clock, which is sponsored by Dolby Labs, and my friend Dion is the chap who makes all this happen each year, and I'm very proud to have the real pleasure of mixing with all these prodigies once a year, and to have the keynote bit, which is to make the presentation, and here it is.
And as you probably realise, that's only part of the award. There is Guy Hawley from Dolby Labs to make the second part of the award. So over to Guy.
Thank you very much, Dion. I'm also really pleased that the award's gone to Manchester, not just to annoy Dion, but that's a big bonus. So on behalf of Dolby Laboratories, please accept this cheque, and congratulations to the team at Manchester.
So if you'd like to sort of make an acceptance speech, or do you want to just run on?
It's okay. Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone at the Society and the Cinema Technology Committee in Dolby. We're very proud to receive an award from a committee that's got such knowledge and experience. And yeah, we're proud as a cinema and as individuals. I think all projectionists take a great deal of pride in their work. And to be recognised for that is something that's really very pleasing for us. Just a couple of quick thank yous really. I'd just like to thank my General Manager, Paul Lindsay, for allowing me to manage such a great booth. And most importantly, for the lads back home who have had to stay at home and run the cinema. You know, they're the nuts and bolts. They're the guys who do the work every day. So this is for them as well. And of course, my second in command, James here, who allows me to have a few days off every now and again, and make sure that everything runs perfectly when I'm get a holiday and things. So and thanks a lot. That's it.
Skip along and move on to the Frank Littlejohns Award to Ken. What I've done is put a citation together for Ken's sort of history. It got to about 20 pages, but I thought we'd try and pull it down. So we've managed to pull it down to 1 page. When you've had somebody in the industry for so long, you don't want to miss anything out. So this is the citation for Ken Draper. When you hear the citation, you'll sort of realise why he's won the award. Ken left school aged 14, entering into a 5-year apprenticeship as a projectionist on the Isle of Wight. This was against his father's wishes, who wanted Ken to be a painter and decorator. Although Ruth, his wife, now has sort of taken him up on that earlier training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within limited opportunities on the island, Ken moved to Essex, joining a small independent circuit. So obviously he thought that Essex was better than the Isle of Wight. Later he joined ABC at the Rivoli Southend-on-Sea. But in 1954 he transferred to the ABC Carlton in Islington. It was here that he read about the new cinematic wonder called Cinerama, and in October 1954 Ken moved to the Casino Cinerama Theatre, where he spent the next 3 years. Still wanting to improve his skills, he moved to MGM Studios in Boreham Wood, but in 1958, with the announcement of imminent closure, Ken moved down the road to Associated British Studios. It was here for the next 8 years that Ken, as a projectionist, worked in the preview, dubbing and post-sync theatres, as well as the music scoring stage and transfer bay. In 1966, Ken joined ITN as a telecine operator, but the long hours and travel were too demanding for family life, so he returned to ABPC as a sound camera operator on such TV productions as The Saint. Over the next 10 years he worked as a microphone boom operator in post-sync and music stage, revoicing the stars of the day and setting up microphones for orchestras ready for recording sessions. With the studio cutbacks, Ken left the industry until his retirement in 1993. But it was during a visit to Bletchley Park in 1996 that he became aware of the Projector Picture Trust Museum based there. He became an active member of the Trust and visited the museum several days a week, restoring equipment and showing exhibits to various interested parties. The Executive Committee elected Ken to become the museum curator, and since that time the museum has gone from strength to strength. When the museum changed sites at Bletchley Park, Ken rallied the troops, and within a year they had created the cinema, projection room and exhibition area of today. It is a great asset to Bletchley Park, where it comes into its own for the special themed weekends that they hold there. Ken carries out the day-to-day running of the PPT Museum, organising visits by organisations such as the CTA, the Cinema Veterans and many local schools. The cinema is also gaining a reputation as a local amenity and holds evening screenings for groups such as the Scouts, the Cadets, Rotary Club and the Living Archive. And it is for this dedication to the cinema industry and the preservation of its history that Ken Draper is presented with the Frank Littlejohns Award. So there you go, Ken.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, if I can just say a brief thanks to Dion and the all executive committee who voted me in for this. I'm surprised the fact that I am much more well known than I expected to be. I worked in Bletchley Park all on my own, you know, and nobody really knew about me. 12 years ago, when I joined the PPT, I little thought that one day I'd be up here getting an award for what I'm doing nowadays, as it's sort of quite a diversion from projection, really. I know we do a little projection, but I have to run the cinema, cooperate with Bletchley Park and put on shows for those for the open weekends to justify our being there. I mean, going back to my days, 1948, I started with the old nitrate film. And if any of you remember the old Western Electric Universal bases with those nice little fire traps, I saw you once from Sydney, those nice marvellous little fire traps where invariably as you started the projector the film would snatch and break, and to keep the show running you had to thread it back in with the whole lot moving, nitrate filmed along. Because you didn't dare stop the cinema show, not in those days, unless of course you had to break higher up. Well, that's about all I can say really, and I thank everybody who've contributed towards this. I'm very pleased to proceed.